Alright folks, what have I got for you this evening? It's Tuesday evening, 10th of October 2017, and I got these in the post today. What are they, you might ask? Are they rubber bands? Well, they're stretchy like rubber bands. These are in fact two small drive belts. Specifically, they're for a floppy disk drive, an external floppy disk drive. I only need one, but I bought two because I've got two floppy disk drives. This is the floppy disk drive. This is for an Amiga A600. Sorry, I use these on the A1200 actually, but you know they're compatible with the A600 as well. I don't recall the make of the drive itself. I'll need to take it apart to confirm that. But this is what the video is going to be about tonight. There is another lad in Scotland that's done the same video. He's maybe more experienced with instrumentation and electronics, but I'm going to have a bash at it to see if the drive belt is all that's wrong with this. You know, it's not working. I don't know why it's not working. The belt was a little perished, and it certainly wasn't as flexible as this one is. So I'm thinking it seemed to be a little bit looser. So I'm thinking this is the culprit. It may be not the only thing that's wrong. So what I'll do is I'll stop it there now. I'll strip this, and as you can see, I've got 6 screws to take out here. It'll become self-apparent. You know, this is not a complicated item. Well, getting the case off isn't complicated. Right, enough havering. I've got to go for now, and I'll be back shortly. Okay, we're back. Right, you don't need much tools for this. I don't think. A half reasonable screwdriver that will fit these screws. It's not difficult. I've already stripped this once to remove the old belt, just to examine it. And it may actually be lying around here somewhere, but it was a bit it wasn't in good condition. One of the things that it's not really an irritation to me, but it is at the same time as well. I know that's contradictory and makes no sense, but that's the sort of type of guy I am. These little drive belts, they're £1.60 each, okay? And then for the two, you know, obviously two belts is £3.20, and then you've got a postage of almost it's £2.99 postage, okay? There's a PayPal fee, I think, and possibly VAT, but you know, in total it came to £6.19. okay, for what? Basically 2 elastic bands. £6.19 for 2 elastic bands. But the problem is, these drives now, you cannot find them for less than £50 really. So what do you do? They are obsolete, you know, everybody's using CF cards now, but it is nice to have a couple of external drives available for those disk swaps. Right, come on, yeah, stubborn little twat. So simply you just pull the base backwards until it's clear. There's a printed circuit board in here, and then you can lift it up like so. See? And then it's simply a case of removing that ribbon cable that you can see in there. It's not difficult, you just get your fingers in there and wiggle it out. It's not in particularly tight. I'll do the top one, that comes a wee better, that's easier, taking that one off. So on the underside of the base you've got a small printed circuit board. It's secured on here with a single screw. No, sorry, there's two screws. There's one here behind this socket, and there's one in here. Now I don't actually, I've taken this off already, but I can't see any damage to it. It's quite clean. You know, the capacitor, there's the one capacitor there. It seems to be okay, and it's all clean. You know, and you know, the underside is clean also. So I'm not going to. There's a little switch here. I'm not going to bother taking that off this time. I'll just set that aside, and this leaves us with the actual floppy disk drive itself. Now it simply slides out. It's easier just to push it forward. Slides out like so. That's the top. Just set that aside for now as well, we don't require that. And this is the floppy disk drive. Now it's a Citizen drive, okay, and it's made in Japan. It's got a model number of U0DC-68A, and it's 42 milliamps, 5 volt. So yeah. Now this little cover here, it actually looks like it's retained by these two screws. Sorry, there and there. You seeing them? But it's actually only one. This one's got the tin is through, yeah. So this is securing something underneath this tin. So all you really need to do is take this one screw out, and you'll get rid of the shield at the top. Now it's a slightly smaller than normal screw head, so I got a little cheap multi screwdriver set for fine bits from Lidl's there a year or two ago. These bits are very low pure quality, they're very soft, but for little jobs like this I've found it quite a valuable little set to have, and it's comfortable in the hand, and you've got lots of different bits there. You've got sets of bits, you know. It's cheap junk, it really is. It's not I'm not endorsing it in any way. You know, this thing here, it's actually meant to be a ratcheting bit, I believe. Or does it? Hold on, I can't remember now. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to bother examining this right now. One of the reasons I got it is it came with this little flexible, yeah. So that's handy for getting into certain areas. Then you can put your bit up here and just do that. Look, you know, it's quite good for that. You know, it's useful. It's a useful little addition to the toolkit, if you remember to use it, of course. So this cover has little tabs on the back side of it here. I don't know if you're seeing that. They just clip out and it pulls off. Doesn't take much pressure at all. So that's that, and this is the guts of the floppy disk drive. Now the next stage is to remove this cable, that can just come aside for now, and then remove the motor. The motor doesn't take much, it's just held in place by these two screws. I'm basically repeating the work that other guy did. I found it very useful, and you know, maybe you won't find his video. I was going to link to it, but I should do really, because I only know how to do this because of his video. So that comes over. You know, watch, there's two little a yellow and a red wire there. They're very fine, it'd be very easy to snap them. So watch that. No. We did have that and that out, but I can't remember why. Maybe just to give us some extra room. I'll pull them for the moment. That's one. And that's two. So they're actually numbered. The one I pulled is and I called it number 1. There's actually got the number 1 on it, and the second one has actually got a 0 on it. So the big one goes to the front and the smaller one to the rear. So that's that. Now, I've watched the how this was done, and it's one of those little fiddly jobs. You've either got the patience and the steady hand, or you don't. And I've got a steady enough hand, but I don't always have the patience for things like this. Now, somebody else suggested you strip other mechanism, taking springs off, and it seemed like a bit of a faff, you know, this is a bit of a fiddle, but the other method seems like it's possibly more prone to destroying the drive altogether. So what we do here is there's a little gap in here just underneath my thumb, you'll see in a moment, and we just try to feed the belt in there. This is not going to be easy. Removing the old belt wasn't particularly difficult, but it was prone to snagging, and I think the reverse is going to be more problematic. So we'll try the tweezers. And just lifting the belt in a little bit at a time. Now, I'll try and get a little bit better light on this subject here. Gently does it. Take it easy. Like Cadbury's caramel. There we go. That's one end of the drive belt over the disk drive unit. The other end obviously will slip over this bearing surface, or I don't know what you'd call that. Pulley, I guess. It's like a drive pulley really, although it's tiny. However, there is a slight, not problem, but if one further small consideration you have to take into account. And the drive belt goes around a small guide wheel. I don't know what else you can call it. And it's not, you're not going to be able to see this with the angle of the camera, but you can get access to it just barely from this direction, and slip the drive belt over it. Now I think that's that. It's going quite smoothly so far. And now this will just have to be stretched and placed over this part. Now this may be a little bit more difficult, possibly. How do I do this? I think what I'll do first is I'll put these back in. Now these tabs, tab 0 has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plates or tracks on it, and I can't see if there's any labelling on the sockets themselves. Yeah, there are actually. I'll try and bring a camera around so you can see this. So even if you forget which socket these go into, they've both got 5 tracks on them, both these ribbon cables. However, I think that it would be difficult to get them confused due to the nature that they have been shaped. However, if you still weren't sure, I'll try and get a photo of this for you. Sorry for my fingers. But in there you can see CN4 and CN3, underneath which has the number S1 and S0 in brackets. So that's a clear indication of the socket that the ribbon cables should be connected to. So now I don't see any release mechanism for these ribbon cables. They just seem to push out and pull in. Sorry, pull out and push in. What happened there? Yeah. No. Does that go like that? I don't think so. Let's go like this. There we go. Things like this, sometimes you just need to give it a little wee wiggle left and right like that. Just rock it in, and once it gets in, it'll slip in then quite easy. If you try to just push it straight down with force, you'll end up bending it and possibly cracking the traces. So you got to be, you got to apply pressure, but you got to be careful at the same time. Right, so now we're left with this. We've got to hook the belt on there somehow, gently. I think we'll try this with the tweezers. And just hook it over like so. Okay. I don't think I'm happy with that. No. Needs to go up further up the pulley than that. And try and grip the pulley, the belt rather, and stretch it forward and lift it up onto the pulley at the same time, so it gets a better grip, so it sits, so it's riding higher up on the pulley. Maybe I've got it riding too high on the pulley now. I think I might do actually. What I'll do here first, I think, is I'll put a screw in there to hold it. Not putting any pressure on it, it's just in there to hold it and no more. Another one in there just to keep the alignment. And now what I think I shall try doing is turning the main drive wheel. And hopefully in doing so, Alright folks, sorry about that. My camera only records a maximum of 20 minutes at a time, and I obviously shot over that and it cut off. Now what I was trying to explain there before we were rudely cut off was that I was going to turn the drive wheel in the hope that it would allow the belt to find its correct operating position. So I did spin it just for 1 or 2 rotations, nothing more than that, and on checking in here you can actually see that it's found, well, you won't be able to see it because my camera, I can't focus that small, but it has found its correct position. It's bang on in the middle of the little pulley that comes down from the motor here. Now I will try to get you an indication of it there. I managed to do so the last time, but I wasn't recording. So you'll see the red wire, and in behind it there's a gold coloured, brass coloured shaft shining there in just about the centre of the view right now. It might be dim on your monitor, but it's fairly bright on my camera LCD here. There you go. Now underneath that you might just be able to make out the end of the ribbon, or the black of the drive belt. I don't know how clear this is going to be on the big screen, but hopefully you've got an idea of its position. So it wouldn't be possible to do it with this part mounted. It wouldn't be possible to fit the drive belt with that part mounted. Okay. Now, basically that's all I had left to say before I noticed I'd been cut off. The only other thing is that I'm actually finding these little magnifying glasses very useful. They're coming in handy for lots of little detail work. So, without any further ado, I am going to put this together, and so I'll pause it there. It's just a reverse of the procedure you've already seen, and I'm not wanting to waste another 20 minutes and of yours, and then I will do a short continuation of this video on the testing of this item to see if it now works. I reckon I've got a 50-50 chance. Have I fixed it? I don't know. I hope so, but we'll see. Right, I'll pause it there for now, and I'll see you again soon. Okay folks, we're back, and we're up in the layer of the Amiga 1200. Oh. Now, this is a lovely computer, this. Oh wow, my hands look pink here, don't they? It's probably the light shade, but anyway. I have now fitted the drive back in its normal resting place. It sits on top of this other floppy disk drive down here. Now, at a glance they look identical, but this one is actually a little bit larger than this one. This is a more slimline version, so they weren't bought at the same time. This one's also a little bit shorter in its overall length. I'd thought I'd bought them at the same time, but memory's playing tricks on me. So what we need to do is we need to determine some way to test this drive now. I guess turn the computer on's a good start. So we'll get the power button here switched on. We have light over here, power. And we'll turn the powerful Deca-color television set on, which has a display of 320 by 256. Now, as you will probably see, I have horizontal banding going up and down there. Now that is barely visible with the naked eye, but all this fuzzy checker pattern almost, that is present and is an irritation. I think this 1200 will be requiring new capacitors, much like the 600 is currently getting. So what you see here now is, if you're not familiar, is the kickstart screen. These computers, you used to load the kickstart by disk, and then they actually fitted a ROM chip with the kickstart on it, and what you see here is a 3.0 ROM, 39.106, copyright 1985 to 1992, Commodore Amiga Inc., all rights reserved. That means that the kickstart 3.0 is on the ROM. So I could boot games or software from here, but if I want Workbench, I would generally install the Workbench disks and boot them from disk. But luckily I've got a little hard drive fitted to this machine, so to access or to reset the boot sequence to boot from the hard drive, what you do is you hold the Amiga key, the control key, and the other Amiga key. So I'll just do that now with two hands, and that's it rebooting, and you'll get into Workbench shortly. There we go, it didn't take too long. Now as you see, we have the RAM disk, we've got HD0 and HD1, right? That's not referring to the floppy disk drives, and that's referring to the partitions. So what I will do is I will put a floppy disk drive in there. Oops, sorry. Get in the drive, Paul. And up here you will see we have this icon up here. And then we shall put this disk in that top drive, which is the one that wasn't working. Got a red light flashing. And we do have the icon up here. We didn't get that before. That's new. That's a positive situation. I'm not making any fucking sense here. I know damn fine it is. I'm not. It's quite easy, difficult sometimes to talk and do stuff at the same time. Right, come on, just get it together, Paul. Right, we'll double click here. It'll see. Disk is dry. Accessing. I think it's working. Yeah, I think it's working, folks. I'm going to call it a success. I wasn't getting this before. It was fucking up on my hair. So yeah, the drive has been repaired. Right, that's now coming up for another 10 minutes, plus the 20 minutes prior to that, and the 3 minutes prior to that. So we're looking at almost 35 minutes. So that's enough for one night. That's going to be well over a gigabyte in file size. And I think it's time I relaxed and did something fun. Let me see, what have I got? Alien Breed, Team 17. Nah, I don't know. I might not even bother with the Amiga tonight. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this little video. It's longer than I expected it to be, and we will see you again shortly. And I don't know if you'll see down here. Tons of Amiga stuff, basically. Right, bye for now. Take care.